baby. Welcome to the glorious Peak District. Stunning views, even when wet.
Doesn't that look beautiful down there?
Is that a loch?
No, it's not a loch.
What a gorgeous loch
It's
at the
a
foot of that
breathtaking
glen.
You can take the girl out of Scotland, eh? Our two mountain goats, Natasha Raskin-Sharp and Philip Searle, have hit the midpoint of their trip, and their Sunbeam Alpine is living up to its name today. The Alpine bit, not the Sunbeam.
And we're quite high up. We're peaking. Have we peaked?
I peaked a long time ago.
I peaked yesterday.
Oh, yeah, did you ever?
But the thing
I
is,
just don't want to talk about that.
Quite right. Last time out, our Phil got a proper drubbing at the auction,
Do you know what? I really shouldn't have bought this.
while Natasha sparkled with one piece of glass.
you do not like this one bit. It feels really good. Hey, maybe that's my thing now, glass.
Yeah, all right, okay. Thank you very
Do
much.
you say glass or glass?
Glass?
I say glass.
I have a bath. I don't have a bath, do I?
Oh, you're reeking of class.
That'll just be all the fresh country air, girl. Philip's fortunes crumbled a bit, and he's now left with a little over what he started with at £208.44. But Natasha leapfrogged into the lead, and she's now sitting pretty on £273.80.
So you're about 70 quid ahead of me now, aren't you?
Feels pretty good.
Makes you want to sing, doesn't it? Maybe not. They started their trip in Lincolnshire, and now they're heading up the middle along the Pennines. They'll eventually end up at a final auction in the west, at St Anne's-on-Sea. This leg will end up at an auction in York, but we begin this jaunt in the Derbyshire town of Chesterfield. Famed for its crooked spire, the town was once home to such luminaries as philosopher and naturalist Erasmus Darwin and strongman Jeff Capes, who also kept budgerigars. And it's where our Natasha, Saulville, finds her first shopping opportunity at the Chesterfield Antique Centre.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Natasha, lovely to meet you.
Wendy, nice to meet you.
Wendy, this place looks cavernous.
It's Cabinet City in here, and when you've got so many precious things under one roof, it's always wise to have a little extra security. Meet Tinkerbell. She looks vicious.
Where did you come from? Oh, you're growling. Are you purring or growling?
She's not a cat, Natasha.
I don't know dogs very well. I don't think growls are good. Sorry, darling.
She's got your number, girl. Best keep your nose clean.
There are loads of controversial items in the antiques trade. Ivory is one of them, rosewood is another. And coral is a very grey area. Here we have very white coral, in fact. It's been bleached and scrubbed clean, and I would say that's the perfect indication that this is Victorian. A lot of Victorian British researchers went to places like New Zealand and Australia and went to the reefs, and they did sort of hack these off. But then it's a moral quandary, because corals are living things. Legally, could I sell these at auction? Yes. Is there a chance that at £60 for 4, maybe with a discount, these could make money? Yes. But is there a chance that I would feel bad about it? Yes.
Should you find something a bit less contentious then?
There was a bit of pottery actually over here. Troika pottery from the southwest, from Cornwall.
I think you may be on safer ground with that.
Founded in the 60s, lasted for a couple of decades, if I remember correctly. 3 people founded it, their names escape me.
Leslie Ilsley, Jan Thompson and Benny Sirota started the studio in 1962 in St Ives. The name is Russian for set of 3.
This artist, Anne Lewis, was one of their artists, and her work is usually centred around circles. And here we have a band of circles around a very cylindrical, straightforward, stylish pot. Almost earthen colours, and that's why I really like it. There's nothing garish about this at all. It's very, very, very subtle, but there are a few less than subtle imperfections in the design. We have big scores down, which definitely would have happened in the kiln. There are mistakes. But £48 is quite a keen price for a piece of Anne Lewis. To my taste, she's the top of the class.
Let's have a chat with Wendy then. Tinkerbell's having a nap, so you should be okay.
I've kind of fallen in love with a piece of troika. Does that belong to which particular dealer?
That's mine.
Okay.
Okay.
This is face-to-face battle then.
Careful, watch out for the dog.
Wendy, are you willing to do a bit of negotiating on the troika?
So normally 10% off, take fiver off, 43. I could come down to 40.
Am I risking it if I say 36? Am I pushing it?
We'll go 36.
36?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's
okay.
no problem.
Well, Wendy, in that case, I'll shake your hand.
And with that, we're off to the races. Let's grab it on the way out.
Oh, has a wee tiny chip. But the deal is done. Why did I not look at that earlier? What a plonker.
Whoopsie. Always check the merchandise. Off with you then. Philip, meanwhile, has opted not to hit the shops just yet. He's headed deep into the Peak District, to the hills just outside Castleton. There are some stunning views to be taken in, but Phil's here to find out what lies beneath.
Welcome, Phil. Welcome to the Blue John Cavern.
Graham Olrenshaw's family have owned the cavern since the 1920s. It's a popular tourist attraction, but it's also a working mine for one of the rarest minerals in the world, Blue John.
It's a kind of fluorspar, and fluorspar is a common enough mineral, really. They make toothpaste out of it, non-stick frying pans, all sorts of things like that. But what makes Blue John completely different from anything else is the fact that it has this purple banding through it.
Is Blue John mined throughout the world?
No, it's only found with this one hill in the world.
This one hill?
A third of a mile wide, half a mile long, and probably about 700 feet deep.
So all the Blue John in all the world comes from
this one hill.
This highly desirable semi-precious stone was soft enough to be worked into ornate vases and the like, which soon became sought after for the great houses of the landed gentry. It's believed that French metalworkers, who fashioned embellishments for the items, called it bleu et jaune, translation blue and yellow.
Well, you're now almost 250 feet below the surface, Phil. You're just coming into a cavern known as Lord Mulgrave's dining room. You see some Blue John in its natural state over here.
Oh, wow.
These are very small veins by today's standards. You see some there, and these veins here, look, and up there.
So what do you do then? You literally just hack that out, do you?
It's all wedges and picks and to get out underneath the limestone. They took the largest pieces first, and we were left with the smaller pieces that we make the jewellery with.
At its height in the 18th century, around 20 tons of Blue John a year were being excavated. Nowadays, a much smaller amount of Britain's rarest mineral is mined, but it's still hewn by hand, as blasting would actually shock the colour from it. Time to seek your fortune, Philip.
I think you can see some Blue John there.
Yeah, how do I get that out? Do I just have to smack it out then?
Yeah, just have a go at the pick.
But presumably there's a knack. You want as big a piece out as possible, don't you?
Right under there, yeah, and pull it out.
Do you know what? I knew I'd be good at this. Is that a piece of Blue John?
Yeah, there's a piece there, look. Yeah. Would you enjoy doing it on a regular basis?
No. Manual labour and I are strange bedfellows.
In that case, let's head back to the surface. Find out what you got.
This is almost coming alive, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know anything about anything really, but it strikes me that fissure down there means that this is probably not a great bit of...
It's probably a sample to sell as a rough specimen, to be fair.
Story of my life, that, Graham.
Graham has a few exquisite examples of what a good bit of Blue John can be turned into.
When was this made?
That will be made, I think, probably in the 40s or 1940s or 50s. Nice little bowl, beautiful, called 12 vein.
Why 12 veins?
Because it's got 12 bands of colour in it. That's beautiful as well, look at that.
That's a real rich
That's
colour,
as blue as you nearly get, Blue John.
But to have this out of your own mine...
Yeah.
That's going to be so special, isn't it?
And this...
oh, wow.
That, again, is a beautiful piece.
That is quite magnificent.
And how old is that?
That, I would suggest, is probably late 19th century.
That's a piece of history, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You should be really proud of that.
Back up on the road, our Tasha is still cock-a-hoop about her current position.
I love being in the lead. It feels so good. I can only say that for so long. It's not going to last.
Well, you never know. She's off to the market town of Bakewell, which, as I'm sure you know, is famous for a particular sweet treat. But it's tasty antiques she'll be searching for in the Rutland Arms Antique Centre, and she's got £237 and 80p to do it with. Over 60 dealers in here, and some exceedingly good items on show. Off you go then.
First thing that caught my eye, a lovely Charles Horner hairpin.
A silversmith and jeweller from Halifax, his company were also renowned for thimbles.
Everything about this screams Horner, the sinewy shape. It's almost like a treble clef. But what it's missing, in fact, not that it's lost it, it's just that this is very plain Charles Horner, because so regularly you will find a gemstone. So the colour of citrine, the colour of amethyst, the colour of sapphire, not precious stones, they would be semi-precious gems, but they had the colour and the look. So £69, it's too much of a haggle and it's not very fair. But it's just Art Nouveau deliciousness.
Well, you'd better keep on the hunt, because look who's just resurfaced. Our very own troglodyte. Fresh from his jaunt underground, is there anything in here to fit Phil's £208 budget?
There's a bit of Blue John. If Graham had been a gentleman, he'd let me have one of those pieces, because that's priced at £2,125.
Wow, I think you can whistle for that, Phil. But that is more manageable.
I do like that. That is a string barrel. Okay, so what you do is you open that up, your string goes in there, you then do it back up again, and then your string comes out of the front there, and if you look very closely, there's a little blade on there, so you cut your string on there. 19th century, probably about 1880, 1900. It's £38. I actually quite like that.
One to put by then. Elsewhere, Natasha seems to be having her now customary shared shop wobble.
I've looked around for ages, I've panicked, and I think I might have figured out the psychology behind all of this. I have quite a lot of money in my pocket. This is new territory for me. I don't think I know how to spend it. I'm panicking about splashing and then losing. Tomorrow, I have one shop, and I'm going to do it. I just don't know how. And if I sleep soundly tonight, it'll be a miracle.
All your eggs in one basket, eh? Bit of a risky strategy. Philip, meanwhile, is having no such qualms. He's racking up potential purchases.
So this says this is an unusual Prussian-influenced brass seal. Because I think that's quite... I also like that as well.
No price on that, but there's £60 on the seal. Nathan, time to fish out that barrel.
So there's that, and that. This, I found in the same cabinet as this.
Yep.
And it says it's got a secret compartment.
Does it say how to open the
Well, it's that secret, I
compartment?
can't find it. Tell you what, put that back over there, let's forget about it.
Yeah, let's ignore that one.
I quite like these two.
Okay.
What can you tell me about that?
There is some damage on it which isn't listed. This one is under bullseye agate, mid-19th century, 1860, something like that.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think it might be later than that, and I don't think that does it any harm.
Right.
I think it might be more, perhaps 1900. I'll give you £60 for the two.
I genuinely can't do that. So this one only came in yesterday and is priced at 45. We've got 38 on there. It's got to be 70. That's the best we can do.
Yeah, I don't think I can do that.
Yeah.
I'll give you 30 quid for that one. But that is, but honestly, that's me
That
finished.
one, I know that our dealer at least owes me a favour. So,
They don't owe me one though, do they?
so I can say 30 on that one, but I can't move lower than 40 on that one.
So what I'm going to do is definitely have that one off you, and I'll pay you for that.
£30, and his first deal is done. Just need to get some string for it now.
Thank you very much indeed.
Good luck.
See you soon. Cheers
Okay.
now.
Have a
I'll
good
go and
evening.
find Natasha.
She'll be in the motor. Let's head for the hills.
If you're going to have Bakewell tart, what better place to have it?
Do you think that Joan Bakewell loves Bakewell down?
Oh, yeah. And on that note, it's time for bed.
Nighty night.
That saved you a job, Mr. Wanacott.
Nicely done, chaps. Sleep well. Next morning, it's still a bit peaky in the peaks.
Now, there's a great Scottish word for weather like this, isn't it? Is it dreich?
Oh, it's dreich.
Dreich.
You've got to get the
But
dreich.
it does sum it up really well, doesn't it?
I think you'll find that round here it's all in it, Dan. It wasn't much of a shopping spree for either of our two yesterday. Philip only bought one item, a little wooden string barrel.
I actually quite like that.
So he's got to try and increase his stock with a little under £180 to spend. Natasha didn't fare any better, only buying a slightly chipped Troika vase.
Why did I not look at that earlier? What a blocker.
But she's still got over £237 to chuck at the problem.
What happened yesterday? Panic, stress, one item bought over the entire course of the day.
Can I just ask you a question? The one item that you bought,
Yes?
I know that you're not going to tell me what it is, but just tell me, it's not a bit of glass, is it?
He'll find out when we get to the auction at York. But first, after abandoning Natasha, Phil's angling the Alpine towards the Derbyshire town of Whaley Bridge, also known as Gateway to the Goyt Valley. It's popular with walkers and tourists, so there's bound to be an antique shop or two round here. And that isn't one of them. Really, Phil? An Undertaker's?
Hello.
Mr. Unsworth.
I certainly am, yes.
Philip, how are you?
Hi,
Good to
Philip.
see you.
How are
Good
you?
to see you.
Jeremy's been helping people to say goodbye to their loved ones for over 30 years, so best behaviour, please, Philip.
Well, I like to go to places that aren't always antique shops. It's kind of what brings me here. And I don't know what I'm looking for. I want to be respectful.
Certainly.
It just so happens they're about to give their Chapel of Rest a bit of a makeover.
We have a lectern and the cross and the candlesticks here in the corner. These were all bought from a church, a disused church in Manchester.
So you bought these?
Yes. Probably about 28 years ago.
Well, they'd be late 19th century, wouldn't they?
You know better than I do.
I think these would be late 19th
Yeah.
century.
I'm really just looking to get what I paid for the things, really, because they'd only really probably get placed out of the chapel and gather dust.
I mean, if I were to offer you £60 for the candlesticks and the cross, would you take that for them?
Yes, I would, yes, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to shake you by the hand on that.
Okay, no, my pleasure.
Let's respectfully lay them to rest in the boot and see what else Whaley has to offer. Now, that looks like a proper antique shop.
This looks good. This looks good. Hi, I'm Philip.
You won't be short of things to ponder here by the look of things. Finding a clear surface might be more of a challenge. And it's all presided over by Val and Milo.
Right, so Val, how long have you been here?
I've been here 20 years.
Really? Mm-hmm. You've got some great things in here.
Some of the stock's been here 20 years as well.
Oh, get out of here.
Well, consider Phil as your personal life launderer. He can definitely help you declutter.
And how much are those, my love?
£10 a piece.
What on earth would you do with those? Actually, I could earmuffs.
Suits you, sir.
I know. But when you started 20 years ago, you'd never had anything like this in your shop, would you? I mean, this was just junk that got thrown away. And now, this is more saleable than some of the stuff that is, you know, because you've got an idiot like me who might buy these off you.
Well, that would clear out a bit of space. What else?
And how much is your step ladder, Val?
That's a shop fitting, Phil. It's the only way I can get up to the electricity box to read the meter.
Don't think that'll stop him, Val.
They're metamorphic, as you know.
Oh, I didn't know that. Can I have a look at your steps? Can I prize them out of you?
No,
Definitely not.
definitely not.
Oh, Val, what do they turn into? A table?
No, a chair.
Do they? Can we have a look at them?
Look at his little face. Anybody would think he'd never seen any before.
I think he's smitten, love.
So that goes down. Oh, they're unusual, aren't they? When you said they were metamorphic, I thought they were the ones that folded out. And these don't, do they? You see...
It all depends if you make me an offer I can't refuse, Phil, but I doubt whether you will.
No, that's the worry, isn't it? 40 quid.
No. Better? You do any better?
Yeah, I'll give you £45 for them.
Make it 50 and you can have them.
Do you know, I've just been completely and
Done
utterly
over.
Done over. Beware the little lady in the antique shop. Sweet and innocent, no chance. Absolutely done like a kipper, I just think.
Are you happy with them?
I'm over
into the fresh air and open vistas of the peaks, and she yomped her way to Edale. This little village, beloved of walkers and ramblers, is the location of one end of a 268-mile trail up the backbone of England. And rambler Terry Howard is here to show her the way.
Went on to the start of the Pennine Way, from here all the way through to Kirkyethome, Scotland Way.
Oh, so I could get home from here.
You can do, but it's going to take you 2 weeks to do it, though.
Parts of the route are ancient trails dating back centuries, but Natasha's on her way to the site of a more recent historical event, one that would eventually lead to freedom for all to roam the British countryside.
Imagine what it were like for people who were living in cities such as Manchester and Sheffield in the 1800s, and they wanted fresh air, somewhere to go away from filthy, dirty cities. Fortunately, when railways came in the 1800s, it offered an opportunity to get out into places like this to enjoy countryside. But unfortunately, most of the moorland owners didn't want the peasants, the working people of Sheffield and Manchester, going onto the hill.
These private moorlands were grouse shooting lands and heavily policed by gamekeepers who could be aggressive and violent to any trespassers. By the turn of the 20th century, working-class rambling clubs such as the Sheffield Clarion Ramblers began to spring up and fight for the right to wander at will in the open countryside.
Clarion Ramblers were started in 1900 by a Sheffielder called George Herbert Bridges Ward.
Okay.
But to his friends he was known as Bert Ward. He wanted to take people out into the countryside, and in his first walk was up this valley all the way around Kinder Scout. Here he'd got working class people out onto the mountains. All of them agreed that they would continue walking in this area until they got the right to roam.
Nothing was stopping him.
Oh no, you couldn't stop that man, because he was that powerful in his beliefs about why we should have the right to roam.
Things came to a head on the 24th of April 1932. A number of rambling groups organised a mass trespass on Kinder Scout, the highest point in the Peak District. Around 400 ramblers turned up to take part in civil disobedience. There were clashes with the local gamekeepers, and by the end of the day, the police were involved.
5 people were arrested, and those 5 were charged not with trespass, but with riotous assembly. As a result, 5 of them did go to prison.
But rather than a deterrent, the arrests helped to promote the Ramblers' cause. The Access movement continued to press for change, and Ward, who'd set it all in motion, was recognised for his efforts.
The Ramblers of Sheffield made a large collection of money, and they bought what is called Lewes Hill, and they gave it to Bert Ward. As soon as he got those documents in his hand, he handed them straight over to National Trust, so that it would be access in perpetuity. It's the first time in my life I've been a landowner.
So is it named after him?
It's called Ward's Peace.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
so his
Peace.
spirit is very much alive.
Oh,
here.
absolutely, without a doubt.
In the decades that followed, many ramblers, including Terry, took part in trespass walks to increase momentum for public access. The movement was instrumental in the creation of national parks, but it wasn't until the year 2000 that the right to roam was passed into law.
And I can remember that loads of Ramblers members gathered up at Mid-Oak Moor. Transistor radios listening, 11 o'clock came, Queen comes on, and my government is going to create a right to roam, etc. Absolutely fantastic. Bottles of champagne came out at Ruckcycle, you know, and we celebrated. Then it suddenly dawned on me, all those people in the past who campaigned for access to moorlands, such as Bert Ward, and they never saw it. And I was lucky enough to be there on the day to enjoy it.
Away from all that strenuous activity, Phil's pointed the sunbeam southwards. He's arriving in the Staffordshire market town of Leek, where famed designer and polymath William Morris worked for a time. And the outside of Phil's next shop is definitely giving off the arts and crafts vibe. But the inside of Odeon Antiques is a wholly different ballgame. It's all achingly cool in here.
So this is a printing block, a rolling printing block that might have been for wallpaper or whatever. But the clever man who owns this place has turned it into a standard lamp. So, you know, you've got a bit of redundant industrial, and it's now a very cool light. A very, very cool light.
And that's the problem with Cool Philip, big ticket prices. It might be a bit hard to find something that'll fit your meagre £63.44 budget. Maybe shop owner Steve can guide you.
Is this all yours?
No, that's another dealer's.
They've got a very scary mind, haven't they?
You should see a house.
I think going down there for dinner's good fun. and I quite like the tooth denture mould thing that's in here.
Yeah, they're really popular things.
Are they?
Yeah.
Particularly with people with no teeth.
Anything medical, dental, ophthalmic seems to be really, really popular. Lots of collectors.
It's £95 though. You'll need to nibble at that price.
Is that 60s?
Yes, I would say so, looking at the plaque. It's hard to date those, really. Yeah, it's an interesting item. It's like it's had a bit of dentistry there, but I'm looking at it.
It's making my teeth hurt, that is.
Yeah, mine too. Anything in here that's a bit less, well, icky?
So here we have a gentleman's valet stand, marketed by Corby of Wilson. Do you remember the old Corby trouser press? Every home should have one.
I'm never without mine.
Your jacket and shirt would go on there. Your strides would go on there. And your cufflinks or whatever go in there. And it's £44. And it would sit in your bedroom.
And you could hang your scarf on it.
So I'm very tempted to box clever and try and buy this.
It's what a man of your sartorial elegance needs, Phil. Let's have a word, shall we?
You've got a trouser valet thingamajig upstairs.
Yeah.
Could I give you 30 quid for that?
Yes, I think that'll be fine. Yeah.
Right, I'm going to have that for sure. Let me show you by the hand. You're a gentleman. Thank you very much.
£30 paid, and now I think you can stand down from shopping duty. Unlike your Oppo, who's only just about to start. She's made her way to the Cheshire town of Congleton, and it's her last chance to shop before the auction. Feeling the pressure?
This is an old mill. This is huge. Whole centre, it says on the sign. I think I can do it. Look out, Phil.
She's surprisingly calm for only having bought one item so far, and time is ticking on.
Hello, hi there.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too.
I'm so chuffed to be here. I have a few things to buy, so where should I start?
Well, we are in the process of closing. You've got about half an hour. Most of the dealers have gone home.
Half an hour?
Yeah. Mad dash. There is one of the dealers here, and I'm sure he will be able to accommodate you with everything you want. Unit 2, a gentleman called Ken.
Okay, short and sweet.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Blimey, that's cutting it fine, isn't it? So, she's time poor but cash rich. Still with nearly £240 in the old kitty.
Oh, this is such a cool room.
Yeah, lots of quality goods for sale in here by the look of things, but you haven't got time to check them out.
Ken? Nope. Ken?
He's got to be around here somewhere.
I don't see anyone.
Perhaps he's sloped off home too.
I hope he doesn't think I'm rude. Ken?
Hello. You shouted.
How could you just be there? I've been looking everywhere for you. I am Natasha.
Nice to meet you.
Right, no time to explain, Ken. Take us to your stuff. And go, Natasha.
So... Right, okay, where do I start? I'm looking around, but I keep just looking at these decoy pigeons. They are amazing in a certain way. Decoy pigeons, hunting, shooting, fishing set. We're going to York. There's money there. On these stands, which makes them quite quirky. Vintage pigeon decoys, £65 the pair. They're on the shopping list.
That's one then. Next.
So what do we have here? Something weird and wonderful. Collection of opticians' instruments, 7 in the lot. Are these quite literally how the optician used to gauge the width of
I
the
think it is
materials?
exactly that, yes.
Well, that's quite fun in itself, isn't it? And with them, there are some... okay.
Yeah, very thick lenses.
Those are serious milk bottles. What's going on there?
£30 on those. Stick them on the list.
Filigree silver posy holder. Is that in the form of a brooch?
Yes.
Oh, that's quite cool, isn't it?
Probably used for a wedding or something similar.
That's perfect. Look at that. Put that on your lapel. And it is marked for silver, but it's not hallmarked. It's not even 925, and that's a very continental style, isn't it? OK, Ken, I like this. Ken, I'm feeling less stressed by the second here.
That's number 3 then. £50 for that. Keep going.
OK. What do we have? OK, what's going on with these bookends? Oh, look at that. Bookend come inkwell. That's quite cool. They're definitely Art Deco style. Anything deco is design. And does anything scream simplistic design more than dominoes? The edge of the inkwell is a wee bit chewed, but the original liner is there, and it is a bit of blown glass. Huh. Are they quite cool?
I don't know, but they are £40. Have you done them?
I would like to go for opticians' instruments, decoy pigeons, posy holder, and I found your domino bookends with the inkwells.
Yes, lovely.
All in, that comes to £185.
Here we go. This is the scary bit. How are you feeling? Have you had a good day? Just kidding.
I had a long day.
Can we call it 110?
We could squeeze it into the middle-ish at 130.
Can we try 120?
125.
125? OK, go for it.
Thank you.
Well, we certainly rattled through that. 55 for the pigeons, 30 for the bookends, 25 for the posy holder brooch, and 15 on those opticians' instruments. And all in the nick of time, too.
What can I say, Julia? Except thank you so much. You saved me. Cheerio.
I think that means our shopping is definitely over. Next stop, auction.
This is quite a tricky hill with its brakes on this car.
Yeah.
I just need to just stop at the bottom here. The windscreen wipers are lost.
Oh, no.
I think it might be time for some shut-eye. It's been known as Eboracum and Jorvik, but the inhabitants of this city finally settled on York. But what's in a name, eh?
Here we are.
I thought they were from Wimbledon.
Oh, for goodness sake, it's one bells.
You keep him right, Natasha. Our two trippers started out high in the peaks of Derbyshire, and they've arrived at the auction in the Vale of York, here to sell to this lovely crowd and the rest of the world online. Philip parted with a total of £175 on his 5 auction lots.
For some reason, Philip Serrell has spent £30 on this valet. It's quite sad. The only redeeming factor, it's on wheels, which for some reason is strangely appealing. But at £30, I also think it was really expensive.
Not a fan, though. Natasha splashed £161 on these lots and that troika vase.
Why?
Philip! Well, let's hope that today's Master of Ceremonies, William Rice, is a little more complimentary.
Decoy pigeons, I love them, you know, really nice. They're hand-painted, carved wooden, and I think there'll be a few people interested in those. Yeah, my favourite item's probably the library steps. I like those, quirky, useful, and they're ready to go, there's nothing wrong with them. So I like those, and I think they should do quite well.
That's more like it. Right, let's find a chair and get this party started.
Troika's coming. Your favourite. Your fave.
Yes, it's her chipped pot up first.
I have £10 bid, selling at £10. Any advance on £10?
No,
12
that's
at the back.
not right.
At £12, all done at £12. 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, £30.
Oh, for
at
goodness sake.
£30, they're all done at £30.
No, surely
Selling
not.
at 30 then, all done at £30.
I could have sworn that would have made twice what I paid for it.
Well, lesson learned, eh? Always check the quality first.
I got to tell you, I love you dearly. I do love you dearly, but I'm delighted that didn't do very well.
What a meanie. It's his big industrial lights up next. Got them very cheap.
£10 bid. £10 bid these lamps. Pair of
It's a great start.
£10. Any advance on £10? 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Selling at £18. The commission bid still at 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. Still a commission bid. Still at,
I love you, Val.
still a commission bid at
What a
26
lovely
pounds,
lady.
Selling at 26. All done at £26.
I'd love to congratulate you, but at £5 spent, I won't do it.
5 times what you paid for them. Very impressive.
Dun, 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 here he comes.
Natasha's deco-style domino bookends now. The first of her last-minute buys. Rather fun.
£20 bid these bookends, selling at 20, £20, 22 in the room, at 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, £30 ladies bid, selling at 30, at £30, we're all done at £30, selling at 30, 32, 34, selling at 32, in the corner at £32.
Oh, Phil, I'm having a mare.
A tiny gain. But it's hardly knocked spots or Phil.
Can I tell you a secret?
What's that?
And it's probably an open secret because we're sitting beside one another. Lots of people are sniffing around those blinking stairs.
Are they?
The auctioneer was a fan too, and they're up next.
And I have £30 bid. £30,
No.
32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, at £80 in advance.
I don't think they're done.
85 behind you, 90.
I'm really pleased with that. Well done, Val.
Selling at 90.
Golly gosh.
Very transformative. Although I'm still worried how Val will read the meter.
I mean, it's only a game, you know. It doesn't matter who wins.
He's so magnanimous, isn't he? Next up is her speedily bought posy holder brooch.
£20, you please. £20 anywhere. £20.
Oh, he's struggling.
£20. £10. It's selling at £10. Main bid of £10. Selling at £10. Any advance? All done at £10.
I should have known. I should have known. They've all got them here in York. Darn.
A case of shop in haste, repent at leisure, perhaps.
This was my voyage into vintage and retro.
What? Your voyage?
Voyage.
Voyage.
Look who's reeking of class now. Phil's valet next, or should it be valet?
It's anything over 15 quid, I should be delighted.
You paid 30.
I know.
Wow.
And £10 bid.
As a result, I'm happy.
Selling at £10. At £10. Any advance? 12, 14, 16, 18, 20.
Oh, stop. Stop competing. Stop
Are we
it.
all done at £22? Selling at then. Commission bid at £22.
For a second, that was about to sell for a tenner and the world would have been normal. And then there was competition to £22.
Someone must have really needed to hang up their strides. What's next?
I got to tell you, I love your pigeons. I do, yeah, I do.
That'll make him a pigeon fancier then.
Do you think it's a couple? I thought of you and I when I saw them.
What?
You were the slightly smaller one.
No, that would be cooing doves.
£30. Must bid £30 commission bid at £30. Any advance on £30? 32 seated, £32 in the room, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 34, 46, 48.
No.
Stood at £46. 48, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75. £70. At 70, we're all done at £70.
That feels so much nicer.
Stood at 70, at £70 are all done then.
Thanks.
That's more like it, Natasha. Better to be the pigeon than the statue.
I mean, they cost nothing to feed, do they?
Very good point. You should have told that gentleman before the bidding was over.
It's Phil's bit of treen now. His barrel, string not included.
This was a real old school buy, this.
Is that R-E-E-L?
Yeah.
I have £10 bid. £10 bid this lot, selling at £10. At £10. 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 22 a commission bid. 24 behind you, 26, 28, £28. 30, 32, £30. We're all done at £30, selling it then at £30. At £30 we're all done.
I'm in no position to criticise, really.
Bad luck, Phil. It washed its face, at least.
Now, Phil, you wear glasses.
Yeah.
You must visit the optician,
Yeah.
the ophthalmologist.
Yes.
Did you do so in the early 20th century? 1920s, I was thinking 30s. Would you have been a patient then?
What a blinking trick, eh? So, can she see a profit with the last lot?
£10 from please. £10 anywhere. £5. £5 bid. 6, 7.
Oh no, don't go in pounds.
£7 back through.
This is hundreds, surely.
9, £8.
Oh my
£8, selling at £8. You go £8, we're all done.
Oh, this is bad.
And that is why you don't leave your shopping until the last minute.
So we're in Whaley Bridge, and I heard that this undertaker chap was sort of altering the way he ran his business, and it was interesting.
Can I ask a question? How did you hear that? Who told you on the grapevine that the undertaker in Whaley Bridge is...
It's the old Whaley Bridge antique mafia, and I'd love to tell you, but then I'll have to kill you.
Lordy. His last lot, the ecclesiastical garniture, that's cross and candlesticks to you and me.
Have you been to an undertaker's before? I never have.
Well, you only ever want to go once. And you want to leave that as late as possible, really, don't you?
£35 bid.
Now, watch it go.
This lot at 35. 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 55, 60, £55, 60, 65, 70, 75 new bidder, 80, 85, 90, £85, 90 new bidder.
Oh, they're definitely going for it.
110, 120, 130.
Very good.
140, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210, 220,
Well.
£210. At 210, we're all done at £210.
Someone's looking out for you.
Not half. Jolly lucky that somebody wants to start up a church around here.
Come on, let's go to the sums. The sums.
Even though I've lost, can I buy you a cup of tea?
Yeah, it's just a game, you know. It doesn't really matter.
Hey, we believe you, Phil. Thousands wouldn't. Natasha started off with £273, 80 pence. But after auction costs have been dented slightly, now she's got £235, 80 in her kitty. Whereas Philip powered into the lead. He made a profit after sale room charges of £134 and 96p. So he has £343 and 40 pence to spend next time. So well done, old fruit.
Well, Phil, as suspected, you're back in the game.
I'm off to find another undertaker.
I'll bet you are.
On the next Antiques Road trip,
I just love walls.
I do.
our two are all about the quality.
Anything?
It's full of holes. I'm thinking of buying dinosaur food. Do you think that's my colour?
I know it's not your size.
Cheeky.